There we go.
Hi.
Hi, welcome.
I'm Mom.
Dom. It's my mom's happy birthday.
Yay. Happy birthday.
Happy. Woo.
Tiara.
We already had a big ass party, but now we get to head.
It was so awesome you missed it. If you didn't miss it, I'm so glad you were there. Man, it was so fun. I'm still high from it.
Good.
I am. It was amazing.
It was a lot of people. It was a lot of fun. It was a lot of music and booze.
It was 8
And tacos.
hours, man. It was about 8 hours.
We had this
I can't believe
conversation.
we stayed so long. I was expecting to.
We stayed so long. She wouldn't even give up. Everybody else was done and leaving. There's like
Apparently,
a handful of us left.
I
and
fell
I was
asleep
like,
in the car on the way home too. But
I kept telling Frank, I was like, I'm tired, but I'm not dipping out on my mom. If she's still at it, then we're. And then the last shot of the night, I was like, Caitlin, pour me a water shot. I don't want another shot. So I took a shot with you, and it was water, and you took a shot. You wanted one, so I was like, I'm not gonna make her have a shot
I
alone.
was too drunk. I should have been cut off probably.
Let's talk about a beer.
All right. Rainbows. From the makers of
Ba-dun-dun-dun. What is that one that we had?
Fruit.
Stop.
Why
Little
do
Beaver.
we do this?
Little Beaver.
Little Beaver Brewery. Yeah,
So
yes.
I know that when we were
Oops.
talking about
All berries.
Oops, all berries. So when we were talking about that beer, I was talking about how I had friends that lived in that area, and they brought us a strawberry Waymbos and a raspberry Waymbos. So we're gonna
split.
share.
Tonight, yes, we're. I'm looking forward to this.
Do you want to pour yours?
Certainly.
Okay, because I
Certainly, and let's get
overdid
into
it
the
last
book.
time.
I got pretty far. I'm just about to the end, and I think we can talk about what's happening right now.
She's seen the movie anyway, so she knows what the end is.
Yeah.
I liked the end.
We're not telling you the end anyway.
I did like the end of this book.
I
though.
liked the end too. It was very
No,
unexpected.
you can look it up
And-
and pour that out.
Very well, you know, I'm emotional.
Well,
I
Nicholas
cried.
Sparks is emotion. Is it very emotional?
I have literally started dog earing. My first page that I cried on was way back here in 102. And then I cried again on 104.
This is fantastic.
And then I cried again at 139. And that's enough. As I get further and further, I just cry, and I've stopped keeping track. But
Oh my gosh. This
But
is
also,
ridiculous.
you know, I'm like, at the intense points, I'm like, oh, you son of a bitch. Oh, you mother. You know,
Yeah.
when we first started reading it,
It is an
you
emotional
didn't
roller
really
coaster.
get the gist of what an asshole her husband is.
And we never talked about what the actual deal was. We were talking about how it seemed like she was, you know, being abused and
Yeah, like
Yeah,
she
but-
was in an abusive relationship, and
Uh-huh.
yeah, we really didn't get into it. So I guess we do that. Let's cheers this new safe haven that we're wrapping up today.
So I feel like I have something in my tooth. I did just eat and I'm like tonguing it. Anyways, cheers. Clink. Happy birthday to my mama.
It almost looks like
It's very
juice.
Yeah, it looks like carrot juice. I will have a small glass of carrot juice.
Then I will have nothing.
Then I will have nothing. If you know, you know.
Yeah. And it kind of tastes like carrot juice. No,
Then I
really,
will
it tastes
have nothing.
like it tastes like strawberry juice quite a bit.
It is. It's very hefty.
But it has the beer. It
This is not like a strawberry beer that I've ever had before. It's a hazy. So
thick. It's full. It's
flavorful. It
yes.
says it has.
It's like
I
an
love when they tell
orgy
you what
in my
hops are
mouth.
in it. Citra, Cascade, and Mosaic.
See?
I love that. It's a hazy. And it's got strawberry, vanilla, and milk sugar. Ooh, that's why it's like that.
Yes, you taste the milk sugar. It's oh,
They're so good.
mwah. I like this brewery. I want to go here. Support your local brewery.
Support your local brewery.
Yep.
We'll be here drinking the beers.
Yep.
I can't wait
We'll
until
tell
I
you
get
all
to
about
try
it.
beers from
Your
places
suggestion.
that I haven't before. I have
Okay.
finished the book, and like I said, I like the ending. Where we kind of left off was the bike. That's exactly where we left off because he
left
had
off at
just
the bike, yep.
left her the bike, and she accepted the bike.
She decided to
There is-
accept it. So
A hefty part of this book is very much her making family with him and his family.
yeah. So
Playing mom
did we talk about Joe,
to the kids. His
the
wife.
neighbor?
Oh, I thought you meant the wake. Okay, the wife.
Joe, Carly
Okay.
is the wife.
Yeah, you're right. So the neighbor. I don't know if we touched. on
So
the neighbor.
I think we did touch on the
We touched
neighbor a
about
little
them
bit,
drinking.
and that
'Cause
she
they
is
had-
a therapist, a grief counselor.
Yeah, grief counselor.
So she kind of talks her into accepting the bike just because she can use it.
Mm-hmm.
It was a nice gesture, and so from there, I think things kind of change for them.
Yeah, because
They kind of make a truce about the bike because she's thinking she shouldn't keep it, and he talks her into it.
Yes.
We talked about that.
yes,
How he had
we did talk about that.
how
she
he
kind of gave in.
had
It
a
was
great
like, fine.
story,
Mm-hmm.
and who wouldn't have given in at that story? I mean,
Yeah.
it was true.
Absolutely, and the kids wanted her to have it too. It was a gift from all of them, so I feel like that was
And so
Okay.
then at this point, she starts kind of being with them, and she
A
goes
lot.
to the beach with them.
Goes to the beach with them,
and she
goes
starts
to
hanging out with
dinner
them,
with
and then
them,
they
and-
realize that they both have feelings.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, of course you knew that was coming. It's a love story.
Yeah, and it develops quite quickly.
Yeah. But I mean, I'm quite quickly over the matter of a few months
Right,
of them
because
just
I
hanging
mean,
out.
yeah,
continuously.
we're not every day.
They are hanging out quite a bit,
and they are, yeah.
and it's a lot at her place.
And meanwhile, her husband,
Is searching for her.
but he is spiraling out of control.
Yes, he is alcoholism. Well, he's
my
like
God, so he was-
downing vodka.
Right, so when we first meet him, she tells Joe about him. That we talked about this, that it
Yeah.
was a friend of hers. But what we realize is that he's a vodka slugger and he's a drunk.
And he would beat her when
has
he was
some, crazy
raging
ideas.
anger issues, like out of control. Like,
For the silliest thing.
Yeah.
So then you get the bigger picture of what's going on, and she's only been married to him for a short time, a few years. But you find out a little bit more. She talks about her background, and her parents were both kind of alcoholics. They weren't abusive though, but they didn't
Right.
really parent her.
love her. They didn't love her. They didn't show
They didn't really
love. They didn't
care.
show affection.
They were drunks for the most part
Mm-hmm.
and took care of her because they had to, and when she was 18, they kicked her the hell out.
Yeah, she was
It
gone.
was time for her to go do her own thing. Yeah, so it seems to me like she had quite a rough life until she met her husband, who we learn kind of saved her.
Yeah, from an instance, he said they said at the casino she was
Right.
getting kind of pushed around by some guys, and he stepped in and played the hero.
Right. And so she fell for him. And then they got married, and he started to show his true colors. And so she had tried to run away a couple times.
And he beat the hell out of her.
Yeah.
And then started delegating everything that she did. She wasn't allowed to work. He wouldn't
That's
give
when
her
you start
money.
finding out. Yeah.
Yep. He started locking up his wallet and his money and
Calling her at different hours every day, stopping by randomly while he was out on patrol or something, to make sure she was home.
Yeah.
And in fact, she made friends with neighbors across the street.
Yeah, so the old couple
Secretly.
across the street was they were the only people that she talked to. And she wasn't allowed to. She was not
was in
allowed
secret,
to.
right.
Yeah, she was not allowed to go anywhere. He didn't want her to know any of the neighbors. He didn't want the neighbors to think that anything was going on. So she was very much kept reclusive to anyone and everyone. And unless he said it was okay, and then if he said something was okay, he usually beat her afterwards for it because he shouldn't have let her do that. And somebody
Or
was
she
going
did
to
it
tell.
wrong, or yeah. She made it happened on his day off, his only day off.
That's when she got her hair done. She got
Yeah. So
punched in the kidney.
this time, she had to do it right.
Secretly save. Put it in. That's when we
Steal
were talking
money from
about.
him.
We were talking about this before because I was like, I thought she put it in the flower pot, but I think that's where she kept it at the new place.
Yes.
And then
The old place.
Oh yeah,
is the flower pot.
It
The new
was.
place is the coffee can.
Yes. Okay. So that was right.
Um.
That's why, because I was ahead of you, and I was like, "Didn't she keep it in the flower
Yep,
pot?" And you were like,
yep.
"I didn't get to the flower pot." I was like, "Okay, sorry."
So yeah. So she was planning it better. And he was a detective, so she knew he would be able to find her if she didn't do it right.
Yeah, and so she had the calls forwarded to a cell phone that she could toss.
Yeah, when she
left
went and had her hair
because
done, she secretly went next door and
yeah,
got a cell phone.
just a pitch away. He had to go out of town.
It was really rather brilliant.
Brilliant. Yeah, she did a great job. Although I would never. Domestic violence is real. Trigger warning: domestic violence is real, and the things that she goes through,
Man,
it's absolutely
degrading
true
and horrific.
When I worked at, I had to work with people going under the same. It is horrible to hear the stories of people just taking nothing and running, of putting their kids in jeopardy, of sitting in a shelter, a homeless shelter, hoping that their significant other does not find them and their kids. And it is horrifying. It's horrifying. So yes, it was very hard to get through. If you've experienced
and it really
anything,
pissed me off.
Oh, yeah.
I have experienced abuse. And fortunately for me, it was my house and I didn't have to run away. I just had to call the police a few hundred times before I got my head straight and was able to get out of it. But it infuriated me reading about the things he did to her. And the thing is that, he kept her under thumb, but he saw it as he was giving her everything. She didn't have to work. Mm-hmm. She had everything she could ever want. She had to do nothing but stay home and cook and clean for him and do exactly what he wanted her to do.
Yeah,
who wouldn't want that life?
Yeah.
And he also had some really strange religious ideas about marriage.
It's like the 10 Commandments.
About
what he basically was like. The 10 Commandments is the word of
the Bible. God, the word of God is it. And he says this about marriage, and he says this about adultery, and he says this about...
Yeah. So he is very...
Yeah. So while he's looking for her, he is...
losing his fucking mind.
Yeah, because... he's like, I loved her. She loved me. We had a great marriage.
Yeah, and then he would.
Why would she leave me?
Why would she do this? This fucking bitch. I can't fucking believe.
I want to hold her forever, and I want to kill her.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, it is. He's infuriating. I just want to kill him.
Yeah. He's a very extreme and difficult character to be with in this book because he brings up a lot of triggering feelings.
Absolutely.
I had many nightmares that were very realistic of things because of it, and it was hard at sometimes. It was hard at sometimes because I always dream very vividly, but I was like living that, and it was horrifying. Yeah.
Now, see, that is what really started getting me into this book, because as you get further into it, it goes back and forth between her, Katie, and her husband,
Kevin.
And she's telling Alex about what happened and what led her to be where she is. Yeah, and you get to a point where you're like,
with him.
Okay, so now we're in the present. Mm-hmm. Because you're for a while in the past. And so it's going back and forth, and Kevin is lying to his coworkers about where she is,
saying that she's with her friend who has cancer, taking care of her,
and
he's not telling anyone that she ran away.
Yeah, he wouldn't dare tell anyone that she left him,
because what would he look like if his wife left him?
Yeah, because that's not what good wives do. But he's drinking vodka and going to work drunk on a regular basis. He is drinking vodka.
Chugging vodka for breakfast.
By the gallon.
Lunch, dinner.
Yeah.
Passing out.
I mean, he talks about driving a lot and not being able to see, or cars
closing one eye just so he's not seeing double.
And I'm just like, oh my God,
he keeps like pumping himself up, but I'm a good detective.
Yeah.
I'm a good detective.
It's okay because I'm a good detective. I'm worth a whole lot to the department. And then he gets suspended.
Yeah. Good.
Because there was an incident, and the captain knows he's been drinking. He can smell it on him. He's suspended, and it's being investigated.
Well, he got a new partner because his partner retired or got hurt and then decided not to come back. And he got a new partner, and the partner is like seeing, holy shit, my partner's an alcoholic.
Holy shit, my partner is off the deep end.
Yeah, off his fucking rocker.
Yeah.
He ends up cheating on his wife when he's in his head thinking about how much his wife is. Yeah, his wife left him, and she's probably sleeping with another man. She's got to be with another man by now. She can't take care of herself. Somebody has to take care of her.
That part, when you're in his head thinking about that, or listening to him go crazy about, I can't be doing this, but I'm doing it, and I'm sleeping with this woman, and I'm a terrible person because the Bible says you don't do this, and I can't do this, and I have to, now
And
I
he
have to
goes
make
home,
amends.
and then he basically like Finkel and Einhorns it because he like scrubs his house down like a fucking maniac for 24
Yeah.
hours because he's got to rid himself of this disgusting dirtiness that he just committed against his own wife, and, he's
and
gotta
that way
make
it'll
sure
go away. 'Cause
Yeah,
she's coming. He's
Yeah.
convinced now that she's coming home because she's going to bust him for it.
Oh man, this is a wild
Yeah.
ride. This is a wild ride.
This
Especially
is what
for
made
the-
me get through it, because I got to tell you that so the romance part, it's a beautiful love story.
It's fucking boring.
But-
Look, I'm not a romance person.
It was hard to get through, and I am a romance person. However, I've discovered that I'm not always a romance person, and it doesn't matter if Valentine's Day is around the corner. You got to be in the right mood. So it was hard for me to pick this up all the time and read it, because I'm not always in the mood for romance, and more than not, I'm in the mood for murder, death, kill.
Me too. And so yes, and so I am also, and I breezed through
She
this
is like-
fucker because I was like,
She's
I'm
like a
getting
reading
through it.
maniac.
I'm now reading 3 other books.
3.
Well, I
Who the
finished-
hell has time?
I finished Green Lights. Well, because I have an audiobook. And I already finished Green Lights through audiobook, so then I
All
went
right.
on to a different.
Okay, so I am reading The Walking Dead.
Yeah, the graphic novel.
Graphic novels.
Yeah.
I get it. Okay. And because that's what I would reach for when I didn't feel like romance. I will finish this tonight. We're not talking about the end anyway, but,
No, but the ending it's a
let's talk about,
beautiful surprise.
it is a beautiful surprise.
That almost got me in the touchy-feelies. I was like,
Let's
I
talk
forgot.
about the extreme part that happens before the ending happens.
Kevin finally finds her.
Kevin finds her.
He's got to. I mean, he's been looking for her all over. So he's been looking so hard for her. He went to Pittsburgh.
Philadelphia.
Philly
He went
to find her.
He went all over.
He like tracked
More than
down-
one
He was
time.
asking the bus drivers, "Have you seen at the bus station? Have you seen? Did you drive this person? And then went to the. She changed her name.
Yeah, so
and-
when she first left, she forwarded the calls to her cell phone so that she could continue to answer the phone and talk to him as she was running away.
Okay, so that's when he had to go out of town because he had a big
Convention.
not
Or,
convention.
Trial.
Trial. Thank you. I was like jury duty. I
Yeah.
just spit. Yeah, he had a big trial to go to, and so he had to.
He was going to be gone 2 days.
2 days,
And so that was
she
her window.
left. Basically, the minute he did,
Yeah.
she just wanted to make sure he didn't turn around just to
She
check on him.
literally cut her hair off and dyed it and
The
left.
minute he left, she cut and dyed her hair and then fucking ran out the back door. And it was snowing at that time, so it like covered her footprints.
Yeah.
And it took him a little bit when he came back to figure out how long she'd been gone because there's no trace of her anywhere. But she'd been gone for 2 days.
But the phone rang.
And
And
it
one
rang- it
time,
called
and there was
forwarded,
nothing
yeah.
on it, and he figured out the call forwarding. Right. So, but
He's fucking smart.
He
although he's
is
a goddamn
smart, but-
asshole.
oh my God. And it sounds to me, too, this is the shame. It sounds to me like he's a pretty good looking asshole. Isn't that the way?
I mean, that would be the way, but
But I get that from what other people have said and what she kind of touched on when he was
Yeah, 'cause she-
striking and he saved
Well-
her. But maybe it's that hero complex.
when
too.
he does finally find her, the things that she says, like, I loved you. And so that was like,
Yeah. She did love him.
yeah. And it
She
was
didn't
really
know he
difficult
was the
for
way
him.
he was.
Yeah, it was really difficult for her to leave him because it was difficult for her to realize that he was never going to change. It was, that's
But
always
also,
the-
she realized that he would probably kill her someday, so she had to.
isn't that the way of domestic violence?
It certainly is, and the fact of the matter is that most women that run away get found and get killed because of it.
We should have brought you some statistics for this one because
No
it
kidding.
is a hefty subject
Ugh.
for domestic violence. It is.
It really is.
It's very real. It's everywhere. There are many people that you probably even know that are living through a domestic violence situation that you wouldn't even know is happening.
Yeah,
to.
and I would suggest that you be as supportive as you possibly can
And
because they might
never
need
tell
you.
them that they're wrong for staying. Don't judge them by that because it's a bigger picture than you even know. So just be
Men
supportive.
who abuse
wholeheartedly.
women have a knack. They know exactly what to do to get you under control.
It's not even just that. It's like
And-
when you start to know someone, you feel their triggers. You
Yeah,
feel what
but
really.
you're tricked, and then it gets to be too late.
Mm-hmm.
Sometimes, I that's my experience. You get tricked because they're really good at what they do. And they don't think they're doing anything wrong. That is
This also is not saying that it's not a woman to man thing. It could be that
Right.
also. But
Absolutely.
we all know that
but
men
this,
are very
this book is
usually more muscular
Aggressive
and aggressive than females, yes. But
Oh gosh.
that doesn't mean that's always
Let's-
100%
yeah,
anyways.
It's not, yeah. Yeah, so, but that's what's going on here.
Or
and
same sex. I mean,
dude
it could
is,
be whatever.
so he finds her. So
Gender.
he flips a wig when he finds her. And the scary thing, I think one of the cool things, I think Alex is so endearing. He has dealt with this kind of thing.
Oh, yeah.
So he
Because
completely
of his
understands
job.
where she's coming from. They have a little harried
he
argument
is
at one
very
point, and he's
supportive when she talks about it. And he's like, you know what? You did the right thing, and I can't believe how strong you are.
you were
because it
brave and you
takes-
did it. And
It takes such courage.
yeah.
Yeah, so that was awesome. I mean, he's an awesome character. He's an awesome guy. It seems like even though I didn't like fall in love with this character, it seems like he is a safe haven. Like he is exactly what she
Absolutely.
needed.
It's more than just the place.
Yeah.
Absolutely. It's him.
Yeah.
That's what I thought too. I was like, oh, he is her haven.
Yeah.
And he's so accepting. And so after everything that happens, he's still so accepting.
Yeah.
And
she kind of freaks out on him a little bit.
yeah,
Like,
yeah. They have a
big
A
argument.
bit of a- yeah.
So he's like trying to talk to her about maybe family and marriage and kids, and she
And
kind
she's
of
like,
snaps and is like, "What if I don't want to do that? What are you gonna do? Hit me?" And he
Right.
just kind of throws it off the deep end. Well, that's just something that came out because she doesn't know how else to express herself besides of these years that she's been living with this abusive
Mm-hmm.
husband. So he politely and calmly excuses himself and his children and then leaves her alone until she's ready
yeah.
to.
It's kind of like, that's not what's going on.
Yeah.
We're gonna go now.
Yeah. Yeah, exactly. And,
And
it was
yeah,
probably
you're kind of
everything
like,
that she needed.
oh,
Yeah. Oh,
it's kind of like, no, why go after, no, yeah, I was torn there. I was like, how
Quit
can
being
you go?
a bitch,
How-
damn it! And
But
then you're
yeah,
like,
I was like,
okay,
that's what you get, stupid.
And he wasn't trying to be so aggressive, but he was a little more aggressive than she would have cared for, and so it was too much for her. She wasn't ready for it, and he kind of.
There is a time in here where his kids tell Katie that he doesn't get mad.
Yeah.
And
No, he
that's
doesn't yell. He doesn't.
that's something, yeah, because that's, you get that from the way he talks, from the conversations they have. He is a very calm, cool guy.
Which is really wild because I don't know. I don't know if I don't know how the world feels about this in particular subject, but in my opinion of having a husband who is a veteran and been to war, there's no calm.
calm, cool guy is not exactly the
There's
demeanor.
hell fucking no. We are high strung motherfucker.
It's
You
like,
put me under pressure and we're pedal to the metal. But he is everything but. And he does mention that he did not see war.
Right, he didn't see
because
combat. He didn't
he
go.
didn't-
He
yeah.
was a detective basically.
Yeah, basically. But
And-
also
and so I
you're
keep-
also put through. But he was in the. He was in
was
the military,
trained,
so
yeah.
he was trained.
Yeah.
Yeah, and
Yeah.
I still
'Cause
when you're
everyone is trained
that way.
first.
Then you're trained under pressure and under these,
Yeah, intense,
Yes.
high adrenaline situations, so you know how to handle that.
Yeah, and
You should know how to calmly handle it, but war is different when you're not in war.
I
when
don't
you
know. Anybody
when you
that I
don't
know
go in a battle.
who has been trained to be in the military, none of them are calm and collected. I mean, I guess because his job was to be that.
Could be, yeah.
I don't know. Maybe it's just his demeanor.
Maybe because you're high strung too.
Yeah, but I've just never met
Yeah.
anyone that's so.
Yeah, I
just-
get you. Like this.
Yeah.
Really, that's
Even
kind of what I was
him, like-
thinking when I was reading this. I've never met anyone like this man. He's fictional.
For sure. For sure.
But that's okay.
You know what my husband would say? That is not a fucking man.
Don't.
What
A
do
real
you do
man
about
would
it?
have found her husband and beat the shit out of him and made sure
Well,
he never came after
That
her.
would have been no.
No, I don't think that either.
No.
Um,
No. He would. I'm just
That's a
talking
joke.
shit.
Yeah, I know. So we can't tell you any more than that.
I think
we don't give away the endings.
we don't give away the endings, but he
we
does
were talking
come
about that.
He does come and find her,
He does
and there
come
is
find
a
her.
big fucking. I mean,
Ordeal.
basically
He's trying to kidnap her.
but he doesn't know if he's going to kidnap her and take her back, or if he's just going to flat out kill her. And at this
right.
point, he is so wasted out of his mind, drinking 3
When he
bottles
sees her.
of vodka or
Yeah.
something. He
Yeah.
can barely stand up straight.
He's hardly had any food.
Yeah.
And I think from the description of that he's a bigger guy. At least a bigger guy than she is.
Yeah, bigger than she is at least.
And he describes her as thin.
Petite.
Petite.
Long
with-
hair. Yeah.
and big boobs.
Yeah, basically.
Yeah,
he does.
so she's not a very big girl from what I'm getting. And he can easily overpower her.
Yeah. And he basically puts the entire family in jeopardy.
Hostages.
It's a very extreme ending, but so you have to go through the extreme part of him finding her, and then there's got to be a big blowout,
Right.
And then the wrap up of it is a very beautiful wrap up that is kind of just like tied with a beautiful bow, and you're like, oh, that was good.
So unexpected, we talked about The Notebook before. The ending of The Notebook is a tearjerker, but expected.
Yes,
And this was not.
completely unexpected.
But you kind of get a hint of it,
yeah,
of what's to come.
during his
a little before
finding.
the extreme part
Yeah.
of the story, where he finds her.
and you are like, no fucking way.
Yeah, you're like, what?
I
What
still-
a good idea.
Yeah, I still am like,
Who thinks of these things? Nicholas
how did
Sparks.
her mind work like that too?
Yeah.
It's good. It's good.
It was deteriorating.
It's not the ending of many of his books.
Okay, so that was a crying part too, because his wife writes him a letter.
Oh shit, we should talk about that.
And yeah, I was like, oh, the letter, man.
So
Where she just kind of tells him how much she loves, how much he means to her.
yeah, and how much
Before
the life
she's
that they
dying.
had together meant to her. It meant
How
everything.
good
and
of a
how-
man he was.
Yeah, and how she's so proud of him, and she knows that
Ugh.
he'll do the right thing, and how she can't wait until he finds someone else, because he deserves that. And
deserves
he
to
does
be
not
loved.
deserve to
Yes.
be alone. And so it was like this beautiful
What a good
letter,
wife. What a
and-
loving couple.
Yeah, and she's just like,
So that's
I
another
wish
love
I had
story
more
inside
love
the
to
love
give
story.
you, but you deserve more love, so go find it, and I'm going to fully support you, and it's hard for me to let you go, but I'm not going to be here, so I want to be as supportive as possible. And then she writes a letter to the person that he falls in love with, and he does not get to read it.
And she's, makes him promise not to open it. It's not for him. And he, of course.
Respects those wishes.
Absolutely, because he loves her. And yeah.
And what
I'm
they
just
had
like,
was so pure and beautiful, and
Yeah. They were from school, first loves kind of thing, like in college. So they had a long romance and a good relationship. And you just, love,
Yep.
heart.
So good things. I suggest that if you're into this sort of thing, even if you're not, maybe you just need a palate cleanser. This only took me, I spread it out. I probably could have read this book in less than a week. I did spread it out.
I could have read it in a week, I guess, but we were doing it in 2 settings, and I wasn't feeling real lovey, so
That's okay.
Plus, I find it hard sometimes when I've seen the movie for a book,
oh yeah.
when I haven't read the book, and I'm not sure what to expect because I've seen the movie. So I have
Still why I cannot
certain
read it.
things already.
I can't read it.
I know.
I can't.
I know.
I just
Well,
am like,
So that's it. What's our next book?
oh,
We
didn't
did
I send it
decide
to
on
you?
Yeah. It's up there somewhere. Dark.
Melody, right?
Well, so I thought it was Desire.
Maybe Desire. I was just looking at
One of these two, because Valentine's Day is next Monday.
And we have to read I don't know which one we picked.
And so this romance took us such little time that we're going to flip one more in, a little vampire
This one's
smut
a
for you.
little smaller than this one.
So let's do Dark
Desire.
Desire. I don't...
Dark Desire's a little
Let's
bigger.
see.
A little heftier. I read the backs and was like, oh, we should do this one. So
well,
one of
that's
them, but this is like a rock.
They were masters of
This
the
is
darkness.
like a
searching through
guitar
eternity for
player.
Mistress of the Light.
So they're very smutty, and you're gonna get some.
They were masters of
Smutty
darkness, searching
dirtiness.
through eternity for a mistress of the light.
We'll
is this
decide
the same
this.
book?
No. Well,
Look.
basically.
It says the same thing. So I think we said Melody, but we're gonna read a Christine Feehan book, whichever one we decide to read,
This might
and
be your winner.
you're gonna love it.
You're gonna love it because we're gonna love it.
Yeah, we'll
And
tell
these
you
ones-
about all
these
the
ones are gonna
smutty
be a
parts.
little-
It'll
a
be
little more
fun.
difficult to get
Oh, look
through.
at how little the words
Uh-huh.
are. God,
We're gonna have fun with this.
did I
we're gonna,
say I was celebrating a birthday today?
We're birthdaying it. So to be determined. We've decided we're gonna do a Christine Feehan.
Feehan, and we'll get back to you next week on the one we're doing when we're doing it,
And you'll get to learn all of the dark Carpathian secrets.
or at least the ones in this book.
Sure.
All right. Peace out.